Welcome to Energy Matters to You, June 26, 2019 edition. The Energy Matters to You podcast is a communication platform that features technologies and thought leaders working to advance energy efficiency. The Energy Matters to You podcast seek to connect buyers with sellers so that practical, cost-effective energy efficiency and sustainable energy solutions continue to gain market traction. We're your hosts. My name is Leo Ryan, and on the line is the celebrity Ron Galuli.
Good morning, Leo.
Ron, you are on the line.
Thank you for the kind introduction.
Yeah, you are a celebrity. I've never met anybody at an energy function who didn't know Ron Galuli.
I'm very humbled by that compliment.
True story. So today we're going to talk about, the need for qualified, capable people in the energy efficiency industry. Is that something that you've bumped into in your company and the folks you're talking to?
Yes, in fact, I was speaking with our program managers at National Grid, and it looks like our program may be expanding. And some of the key positions that we're looking for are energy engineers that have either industrial or manufacturing experience, and they're very difficult to find. We also have project management needs, but as long as we have a person that has the capability and the drive, we can fill those roles. But it's really those technical roles that are difficult to fill.
Right. And we had Kevin Doyle on with us a couple of years ago talking about the clean tech industry and its growth and how need for employment in that area and qualified people has outpaced other sectors of the economy. And Kevin's now with a group called Green Economy. Again, part of their function is to make sure that there's enough qualified people to fill the open positions. And he put out a really nice piece that focuses on what eco-employers want to know about new graduates and how new graduates can position themselves and train themselves and prepare themselves to function in that space. I think Ron, your statement about National Grid seeing the need, it's in a way it's slowing down the advancement of some of the energy efficiency efforts that folks have got underway.
Absolutely. And I did have the opportunity a few weeks ago. I play golf like once a year, and FMC Technologies, a control company, invited me to play, and I had the opportunity to play with two recent graduates at UMass Lowell, and they have done really, really well in that space. And it just shows you there are so many opportunities out there, and if you take Kevin's advice and line yourself up, those opportunities will present themselves to you.
Hey, Ron, I know this is a really subtle way to plug UMass Lowell, and I'm a graduate of that program, and you've got a kid there, so I appreciate you plugging that school.
Yeah, I can't say enough. It's a great institution.
Awesome. Well, listen, we got a couple of guests on today that are right at the forefront of educating a workforce to meet that need. We're going to bring on John Spooner and Mike Conway, who are with a group called Stacks+Joules. And you go to their website, and what flashes out is the bridging the tech opportunity gap with a specialized curriculum in computer programming for building automation control. So, Mike and John, welcome to Energy Matters to You.
Hello. Hey, thank you so much for having us on.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, hey, this is Mike. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Good. Now, you guys are scattered around the country, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all over the place, but we do come from Boston. Like, that's the one thing that keeps us solid is we both actually grew up outside of Boston together. So we're from there and Boston proud. But yeah, I'm actually located in New York City.
Okay.
And I am located and currently right now calling in from Los Angeles, California.
Well, thanks for getting up early.
Oh, yeah. I mean, coffee's just kicking in.
Well, great. So Ron and I've had a chance to talk to you both and go to the website. Tell us what Stacks+Joules is all about.
Yeah. So Stacks+Joules is a nonprofit workforce education program where we teach mainly high school seniors IoT, HVAC, lighting control, and professional soft skills, all towards careers in building automation.
Interesting. Wide swath of things. How is it that you guys came together to go at this problem? What is it in your backgrounds that drew you to identify these areas and this gap in the skill set to form Stacks and Joules? Tell us about that background.
Just to start off, this is Mike. So my background is education. I taught high school math in a variety of high schools for over 25 years, and started to see as I was working the second half of my career, I worked in schools where re-engaging students, and I'd have success getting students to be able to pass the math test they needed, getting them enrolled in community college programs or even four-year college programs, and then would see them falter because they didn't have a place to live, were food insecure, whatever. Life would catch up and they couldn't afford to continue with their education. So I was looking for solutions for my students and saw that they need to work, right? And they need to be paid well so that they can get into a learn and earn kind of situation. So it was really through conversations and keeping John informed. So John's side is, take it away, John.
Yeah. So I mean, actually one little caveat to kind of fill in even more of the blanks is that, so we actually met in Mrs. Davidson's second grade class way back when, and we have been in each other's worlds for quite a while. So we're longtime friends, and that really kept this conversation going. While Mike was off pursuing education and working in that realm, I was going into technology. And so with technology, I've worked in all different facets of the internet and hardware and IoT. And most recently, I spent 6 years working for Alphabet, doing one of their smart city initiatives in New York City, the Link NYC project. And so through that work and through partnering with Sidewalk Labs, which is really their kind of arm for smart city expansion, I started to really hear a lot about building automation as a really crucial piece and a crucial piece of the infrastructure that is needed for a smart city to exist. And as Mike and I kept on going back and forth over different opportunities and different areas to really focus education, it really started to come clear that, the future of technology is really in IoT. With 5G coming, there's going to be a lot of expansion in that area. And so really tooling up students with these skills, is a crucial thing. But how do you really apply those skills in the workplace? And that was what we found in building automation, was this perfect mixture of leading edge technology and IoT, but then also real employability in the built environment.
Understood.
Yeah, and I just wanted to chime in and say, we already talked about the workforce capacity issues in this industry. It's not just this industry, right? So a focus that's we need to get the messaging right, to get more college graduates to understand and see the opportunities in the industry. That's not enough, because every industry is automating. Automation is across the wide economy. And so every single industry is going after college graduates who have a same set of technical skills. Ron, when you were saying, we're looking, the hardest positions to fill are those technical people with the technical knowledge and skills. You're talking every single industry right now, from, manufacturing to warehouse management and development to retail. It's really, what we're really looking at is a disruption of the training and education system that is currently inadequate to meet the challenges of this, automation fifth industrial revolution. And building automation is, a specialized case there that is particularly impacted because it has, it requires this combination of mechanical knowledge and skill, right? So we still need those facilities maintenance personnel who can use the tools to fix the equipment. And at the same time, everything has a computer attached to it and controlling it. And so that is the unicorn, right?
Right.
The mechanical aptitude and experience with understanding of code, wireless networks, and the technology side.
Right. So, Mike, let's go back to, you spent most of your career as an educator, and you're doing your best to prepare these guys with foundational math, science skills, and then you send them into a next level of training, whether it's technical or community college or university training. And, so you talked about releasing qualified students who were having trouble making a living to support themselves. So tell me, there are educational options out there now. What was missing in those educational, what is missing from those that are not providing this workforce with the skills they need to fully embrace this automation industry wave that's sweeping?
What's missing is a connected approach, right? So up till now and currently, it's starting to change, is the education system is really run separate from the workforce system, right? Okay. From companies and from employers. So one of the big issues is that, for example, when you look at the positions that are available that we focus on, the BAS technician,
right?
There are programs now out there that will prepare, right? Those programs typically are asking for either 5 years of experience in the field or are requiring a 4-year degree.
Okay.
So, and some of them are requiring 5 years of experience and a 4-year degree. So now you're looking at 10 years to ramp up a qualified candidate. And then what we hear from employers is, they're hiring people either right out, if they can find someone out of college, because, the typical college graduate who has some programming background and engineering, imagine trying to compete with Google, Yahoo, Snapchat, for a 24-year-old. And you're saying like, hey, come on in and work in this building. It's, so that's a challenge. But you find someone and then they have to be retrained on a pretty significant scale. So even those that are coming in with some education background. So what we've done is we started with industry, gathered a group of advisors to really pinpoint, what would be the first role that you could hire a just out of high school, aged young person. What are the first things that they could do to be productive for your company? And having identified that, we created our program to really focus on just those first skills. So this is another problem with the education system, is they're looking at, their vision is, we're going to work with them for 2 to 4 years, and at the end they're going to come out with ready to be an expert, right? Do not only the tasks of installing, commissioning, maintaining, optimizing, they're going to be able to design a whole system. And one, that's kind of unrealistic, right? You need to get in there and get some real work and work with professionals who can guide you on that. And it takes too long. So we have a just-in-time approach, right? So we say, okay, what are those immediate skills that can make them productive, get them in and get them earning? And then this is the beauty of this industry, is it really requires further training. It's a technical industry. And so that's where you get this pathway starting to develop for these young people and for the industry, is with that beginning level of productivity as an entry level, then they can be guided and actually have the next certification paid for. And then, you know what? And if you get this associate's degree, you can move up to this this level of salary, and you can do these types of tasks. So led along in this earn and learn model, rather than taking on debt and then not finishing and not having the workers that are needed.
Mike, I really appreciate that background, and as someone who's involved in selling in this space, I really appreciate the approach you've taken, where you go to industry and you ask the question of them. What task is it that an entering new employee can take on and deliver some value? So it's really helpful to go to the experts, the people who have the need, and say, well, what is that need and how do we fill it? And I'm wondering, John, John, can you just give us a little bit of a sense of some of these partners that Mike had referred to within an industry? Who is it that's helping you provide place and an environment for these newly trained workers to work? Tell us about some of those partners.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we've partnered with really a myriad of companies throughout the industry. So companies like Albireo. We've actually just recently placed 2 interns in the Boston area with Albireo that are starting this summer. And we're working with RAB Lighting in New York City, and they've really closely partnered with us to provide guidance, to provide access to hardware. They even took us to their manufacturing facility and gave us a full tour of the entire process of, concept to product. And additionally, we've started working with local integrators and companies around the New York City area, like Dual Fuels and Venco and others. And so it's really been mainly those kind of the actual people who do the implementation and do the installation. Initially, we started reaching out to a lot of the manufacturers and found that they weren't the ones actually installing. They were the ones who were selling to the installer, who then put it in. And it was really the installer that we were finding our strongest partnerships with.
John, this is Ron. I had a quick question with regard to, I know you're working with state leaders in colleges and some of the local community colleges, but have you approached any of the utility companies? Because they may have some budget in their 3-year plan for workforce training. And to me, this seems like a great approach to be able to train them so that they, what ultimately they train for, it's going to benefit the utility with the savings that result from the efforts of these young students being able to program BMS systems.
Yeah. So rather naively, I guess, we when we launched, we were testing our curriculum in the Boston area, and we had a few cohorts going throughout the area, and we had one special class in Chelsea, Mass. And we actually ended up working with, now let me make sure I get my sources right. We worked with Energy Source, an implementer and energy efficiency expert company, to audit the Chelsea High School. So we went through and saw all the T8s and T12s throughout the school, and we actually came up with the students with a retrofit plan of how much would it cost, what kind of cost savings would they recognize, what kind of payback timeline were they looking at, things like that. And we had the students put together a sales pitch and actually pitch it in front of the Chelsea town planners, as well as representatives from Eversource. So, and Eversource was very interested in it because, bringing down the peak load is really the task of this fund. And that was what they were seeing this benefit as. The naive part that I prefaced with is that we just kind of jumped in with 2 feet and found out from the town that, in fact, they did have a 3 to 4 year rolling plan of upgrades and implementations that they were working on for the high school. So, while we had a great plan and they really, appreciated the effort of the students and felt it was a really compelling pitch, they already had a plan in process. So we've had the idea of working with the utilities and as ways to underwrite some of the retrofit projects. We just haven't found the exact right fit. We're also looking to partner with some of the state energy groups as well, like the Mass CEC, New York's NYSERDA, just as other ways to really see the utility, make sure they're aware of what we're doing and how we're really trying to help the industry move forward.
That speaks to also where we are as an organization. We're 2 years in, and these first 2 years we're developing, beta testing our curriculum, making sure it was, working in the way that we intended. And so we selected very different sites so we could make sure that it was applicable in different environments. We're now at the point of, John mentioned, we've placed two. Actually, Alberio doesn't even call them interns. Alberio is saying we've hired two young students, one who is a year out of high school, actually from our Chelsea program, and one who just graduated from Dearborn STEM Academy in Roxbury. So they're saying, like, they're hired. They have a review in August, which will determine if they get a longer term contract, right? That's what we've been working towards. That's the model that we've been working towards. And Alberio, George West is leading that. They see it, right? They get it. And this also goes back to, like, what type of companies do we look for? And it was a learning curve of, we've learned that the companies that are most ready to accept, have the vision to see that this as an HR strategy is effective are companies that have senior level management who've come up through the ranks, right? So there are senior vice presidents who now have an engineering degree, but it took them 12 years, right? And they were working with this company, starting off as an electrician or as a mechanic, and chipped away at it. So these companies, they've got really valuable people who have followed this pathway. They did it out of their own grit and determination. We're looking to systematize that. And so why not go into the utilities? We were really focused on proving the model, working out the model. Now that we're getting there and we're growing our list of partners, we're ready to have that. So Ron, if you want to set up a call, we would gladly talk with your connection with the utility.
Absolutely. I can mention it to several of my contacts over there. Yeah, I think they may be interested.
Yeah, because now we say, like, hey, you don't have to take it from us. We'll get Alberio on the line, and they can talk about the strength of the students coming out of the program, right?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. This is the call to action moment. So you guys done a terrific job at identifying the elements. You've got the students that are struggling to get their hand on the first rung of the ladder. You've got employers like Alberio and Rab Lighting that have a gap in their workforce. You've got municipalities like Chelsea that benefits from this relationship between the companies that are doing energy efficiency work and their new employees solving a problem. And you've got the Eversource story. There's obviously opportunity to grow, and then some relationship with some of the nonprofits that are out there kind of counseling and driving and managing the industry, like Mass CEC and New York's NYSERDA. So tell us, how can we help? Where is the spot that this tested model, this tested curriculum needs help to grow it and ramp this up?
Yeah, I mean, what it really is, and why we came on your great podcast, is really to just get the word out to the industry as a whole that, right now is the time when they have to invest in the workforce development. Like, that has to be a central goal of this industry in order to keep the progress of this industry continuing and growing and moving forward. So we're really looking for, innovative, high-minded companies that see this future and see that it's coming down the line and want to do something now about that. So we are looking for companies that, we are a nonprofit. So we are looking for companies that can step up in the form of funding support. We're also looking for companies that have job opportunities where we can bring in some of these highly qualified students and really impress them with the quality that a high school student can deliver them. And honestly, one point that I wanted to make earlier before, the difference is this high school student has 4 years at your company learning exactly how you want them to function and how you want them to be skilled, instead of leaving the whole flow, going to college for 4 years and dropping back into the industry. Because, you think of what has changed system-wise in 4 years, a great deal. So once again, let me loop back to my call to action. What it really is around funding support, job opportunities, and then lastly, and possibly most importantly, are real work opportunities. Real projects that are going on in the Boston or New York City area where we could bring students to do either job shadowing, hands-on learning, anything along those lines. We're looking for those building automation showcases where you can go in and it's like, everything's automated, soup to nuts. And they have, one of those beautiful testing rooms that has all the systems laid out and all the different screens and monitors. That's what we're looking, just to give these kids a taste of what this industry really is.
And the other side of that is give industry access and exposure to the young people before they even interview. So that was the case with Alberio. They pretty much knew who they were going to make an offer to because they'd come to the program. They had sent some technicians to do a tour of the mechanical room. They'd given some career overviews. So that's about the company giving, but they're also interacting with the potential talent and starting to get a sense of who that talent is. And so, it's reducing that idea of the perceived risk working with a young person who's, an unknown quantity. Well, now they're known because of this interaction and they're ready, right? They're hired.
Well, both Mike and John, we look forward to getting the word out on the program. It definitely provides a valuable educational resource that can empower young adults in an exciting, growing industry. So there's nothing like being able to get out of high school or college and have that ability with the background through a program like yours to control their own destiny. So, we look forward to helping you get the word out. We have quite a few hits. Yeah, we're doing really well, and we encourage listeners to continue to get the word out. And if you're interested in being on the podcast, please let us know.
Just say that Peter Sarian from Copper Tree Analytics have been over 160 downloads in the past month or so. And Alex Grace with KGS Buildings. And I know we have Stephen Strong, who founded Solar Design Associates. He founded that company in the 70s, so he's been at it for over 40 years. And it's hard to find anybody in the solar industry who knows more about the whole process, the whole growth of the industry, the problems, the opportunities. So we'll have Stephen Strong on pretty soon. Any upcoming events, or what have you been tracking on your blog?
Well, there's I think it's called the New Energy Solutions Microgrid event. That's actually late June. But, throughout the summer, taking some time off, and what's on the radar is the Homer Grid Microgrid Conference, or the Homer Microgrid Conference in October, and that's right in Cambridge. So that should be a pretty well-attended event, and I expect to see a lot of the local folks that are involved in microgrids and storage and solar at that event.
Yeah, and you've been leaning on those Homer Grid online tools for some of the modeling work you've been doing. Isn't that right?
Yes, we have. We've been using Homer Grid and Homer Pro.
So good. So listen, folks, go to the LinkedIn site, Energy Matters to You. Comments to Ron and I will be followed up on. Appreciate that. We always welcome your feedback, guest ideas. For Energy Matters to You, this has been Leo Ryan and Ron Galuli. There's work to be done. Go make a difference.